Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with Crystal K. Today I have a very special guest here with me. I do have author, motivational speaker, life coach, Harvin Counsel with me. Also, Tidbit, he is my dad. How are you, Dad?
I'm doing good. Finally got a chance to get on.
We finally made it. It took me too long, but I mean, we're
That's
here
okay.
now.
Better late than never.
Better late than never. So, I have so much stuff that I want to talk to you about, because you and I, we always have really great conversations. You are working on a lot of stuff coming up this year, so I definitely want to talk about all that. But before we even get to that, I just want to talk to you.
Okay, let's talk.
So, the first thing I want to talk about is, we all know that you've been a coach your whole life, but more so than a coach, you've been a motivational speaker. So, I want to talk about how you got started. How did you know this is what you want to do? Because I know your personality. So I want to talk about how you knew this is what you wanted to do. How did you know this was something that you were passionate about?
It all started my senior year of college. I was doing a teaching assignment at one of the local schools in Jacksonville, Florida, where I went to school at. And when I was doing the activity with a group of elementary school kids, the activity I was doing was an activity to get everybody involved. And it was my first time doing it. And with me, if you know my story, if you know who I am, I'm kind of laid back. I'm not very outgoing as far as talking and that type of stuff. When I meet people and that type of stuff, I'm kind of reserved a lot. So that was my first time doing it. So when I went out and I did the activity with the young group, they were really fired up about it. And then I got fired up about it and not really thinking about it a whole lot. But after it was over, I realized I really enjoyed what I was doing. And when I got back to this campus, my professor kind of called me out in front of the class and said, I just want to kind of give a shout out to Harvin, because I thought he did an excellent job with the kids, and they were really engaged and they really enjoyed what he was doing. And that kind of said to me that I like this. This is what I should be doing, working with these young people and trying to get them going. So after I graduated from college, I did a few various things, and then I finally ended up teaching and coaching, which I probably should have been there in the beginning, but you know how you are sometimes. You get out there, you don't really know what you want to do, and trying to find yourself and stuff. So I got into it, and I think that one day teaching that class was the thing that got me started.
So when your teacher called you out in front of the class, how did that make you feel? What were you
I
thinking?
was shocked. I couldn't believe it, because I didn't think very much of it. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, oh, okay. Especially knowing who I am, I was like, wow. But that really, like I said before, man, that really kind of pricked me and say, okay, this is something here, because I could tell the way I felt on the inside that I needed to be doing something in that area.
Dad, what's the one thing that you always tell me to, like, for my definition, to find my purpose, to find my passion? What is that you always tell me? How do I know what it is?
It is the thing that you do with the least amount of effort, that you really enjoy. And I'm trying to think of, I have another definition for it, but I can't quite put it together right now. But your gift will make room for you. The type of thing where when you know that this is what you are passionate about and what you're good at. I think a lot of times we get a little bit afraid to take that step out there and to try to go and do it. But when you have that passion for it, you got to take that step out there and do it anyway. All right, because that's your passion is usually where your gift is, and where your gifting and calling is. That's where you need to be at. Now, it may not be comfortable in the initial stages of it, going out doing it, but as you start doing it, you'll start seeing other doors start to open up. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's not the thing of how we're gonna do it, because you don't need to know how. You just need to start doing something. And once you start doing something, those doors begin to open up, and you say, oh, okay, I see something here now, and I can take another step, and then take another step. So I hope that kind of answers that question.
Yeah, it does. But you used to always say, you did say that too. But when I was little, you used to always say it's the thing that you would do without getting paid.
There you go. That's exactly it.
That's what you used to tell me.
Man.
It's what you would do without getting paid.
Without getting paid for it, man.
Without getting paid. So, not to switch subjects or anything like that, because we're going to touch on all that, because we were getting ready to go. I see we were running a little bit. But so 2019 just ended, and now we're starting 2020. Mm-hmm. I know that there's a lot of things that you do. There's a lot of practices that you do practice. So I do want to ask you 2 questions about that.
Okay.
So what did, and we can do it in 2 parts, what did 2019 teach you, and what are you excited about for 2020?
Wow, that's a good question. That's a good question. 2019 taught me that whatever I want to do, I can do it. Mm-hmm. I don't have to sit back and wait, and I might be getting ahead of myself a little bit because I'm out here trying to do, well, not trying, because trying is failing with honors.
Failing with honors.
Failing with honors. So whenever you say that you're trying to do something, you're just saying that, you're failing with honors. So get that out your vocabulary, okay? But doing off the court with Harvin Council, when I first took that step out to do it, and by the way, off the court with Harvin Council, that's a theme that she came up with. So we're running with that because she came up with that. And I love that title, Off the Court with Harvin Council.
Oh,
but you're welcome. But when I thought about just getting out there doing the motivational thing, the motivational speaking thing, because I knew there was something that I was passionate about, something that I really wanted to do. And so I had this quote that I always quote that says, if your ship doesn't come in, swim out to meet it. Mm-hmm. And so my point is that when you want to do something, you can't sit back and wait for somebody to come and hand it to you or to dictate to you and tell you, okay, now, Harvin, I want you to come and speak, or Harvin, can you come speak? I can't sit back and wait for that to happen. Mm-hmm. Now, I think those things are going to happen where I'm going to be invited to speak. Don't get me wrong about that, but I want to do it on another level, and I want to do it more. In order for me to do it more, I know I've got to go out here and I got to swim out to meet it instead of just sitting back waiting for it. So in 2019, it taught me that I need to start swimming out to meet whatever it is that I want in life. Instead of sitting back waiting on it, I got to swim out there and meet it. And I think with Off the Court with Harvin Council, that's what I did in 2019, and taking it on into 2020, I continue to keep it going.
So what are you looking most forward to with that? Just continuing in with that going up in 2020?
Definitely. I've set my goals really high for 2020 around that, and some other things that I'm trying to do. But taking Off the Court to another level where I'm trying to get out into different areas now. I've done, what was it, 3 now? Or this will be the 3rd one, I think.
This will be the 3rd
This will be the 3rd one coming up on next weekend. But my goal is to do as many as I can in the year of 2020, to get myself out there, because I think I've got a message that people need to hear. I think I've got some things inside of me that, and it's not just young people, and I know a lot of people think that I focus on young people all the time, but it's not just the young people that it's young adults and old adults. Mm-hmm. The message is for everybody. It ain't just for a certain group of people, but it's for everybody. And in 2020, I want to raise the bar and push that a little bit farther, man, because I think especially we as a people, man, we've got to begin to swim out to meet our ships. A lot of people just sitting back, waiting and waiting and waiting, and we got to get out of that wait mode, because if you wait, people are going to pass you by. All right, so you got to get out of that wait mode and start swimming out to meet it. So that's my focus in 2020, is where I really want to get out there and get this Off the Court with Harvin Council to another level. And this is not a thing where, I'm trying to do something for a monetary value or anything. Right. I just want to get something out because I know that God has blessed me and showed me some things, and I've learned a lot from the things that I have done, and I just want to share it with other people, and that's my goal for 2020.
Isn't that what life is about, though?
you got to share it, man, because I can't, if I know something and it's blessed me and it's helped me,
Yep.
I need to share it with you. But what we do a lot of times is we hoard it and we keep it in, and I don't want to share it with you because I don't want you to be better than me. You might, go ahead of me, or you might start making more money than me. You might have a bigger house than me, drive a better car than me. You know what? Everybody has that same playing field to get what they want to get. It's just a matter of who's going to swim out there to meet it, man.
Yep.
So we got to get to that point where we stop being, and I don't want to get into it too much, so I'm going to tell you, just come out on Saturday, because I'm going to talk about it a little bit more on Saturday.
Get some more on Saturday.
Come on out, and I'll talk a little bit more about it then. But we've got to stop hating and being jealous of each other, and we got to start sharing with each other information that we have, so we can help take each other to another level.
So we did touch on goal setting just a little bit, and I know that is something that you are really, really big on. So let's talk about your goal setting methods. I know that every year you do a vision board, and I definitely want to talk about vision boards, and I want to talk about your word of the year. So give me a little bit about vision boards and how important it is to you. And for those that may not know what a vision board is, tell them a little bit about what it is and how it's helped you in your life.
Well, a vision board is, it's similar and it goes hand in hand with basically goals, but the vision board goes a little bit farther from the standpoint of that you've got a visual of what you really want to see happen in your life or throughout the year. And you take that, and what I do is, I have a little cardboard or whatever, how big, and I cut out, I paste whatever it is that I want to happen throughout the year. Whatever my goals might be, whatever I'm trying to reach, whatever I'm trying to do, I cut out pictures, I put it on that vision board, and I place that vision board in a place where I can see it every day. First thing when I get up in the morning, last thing when I go to bed at night, because it's right beside my bed. And I've got a couple of them on my bedroom wall right now. My wife doesn't want them up there because she think the room looks a little messy with it up there. But I have to put that up there for me because that's who I am, and I have to see that every day when I get up and when I go to bed at night. But that vision board, I've been doing it since 2015, and everything that I've put on those vision boards up until today, 90% of it I have.
Say it one more time, Dad. Say it one more time.
Everything that I've placed on that vision board from the year of 2015 when I first started, 90% of it, I have it today. One of the cars that I drive is in my yard right now, and I put it on that vision board. Same car, I took a picture of it, and I placed it. The same exact car, from the same place where I bought it from, I now have that car. I've written myself out blank checks for X amount of dollars, and I put it on that vision board, and I got that exact amount of money. I put down, I wanted to get a certain increase on my job from a raise, and I didn't realize it at the time, and I called my wife and gave her the little note that they gave me, or told her what the amount was that they just gave me. And when I got home, she said, "Take a look at your vision board." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I wasn't really, So she said, "Take a look at the vision board." And I looked at it, and I was floored because the exact amount that I wanted for a raise was the exact amount that I got. So it's about putting it out there. Now, this ain't no magic wand type of thing now, but when you put it out there and you can see it, what you start doing is you start working toward it. But how can you hit a target that you can't see?
You can't.
You cannot hit a target that you can't see. So that vision board is my target, all right? And I see it every day. If I see it every day, then I'm going to do something toward that every day so those things will happen. So a vision board, if you don't have one, I think you're missing out on a major part of life, man, if you don't have your vision board and if you're not setting goals for yourself. You need to do that starting today if you hadn't already done it.
So let's talk about your word, because also on the vision board is your word for the year. Give them a little bit of...
My word for this year is intentional. And that means that I'm deliberate and purposeful with everything that I'm going to do this year. I'm not just out here doing stuff just to do stuff and waste time and energy and that type of stuff. Everything that I'm doing is intentional about going to something else and going a little bit higher with something else. So, and I brought that to our attention because probably, I don't know, it's been 2 years now, 2 or 3 years now. I started this at the beginning of the year because, and I started this with our family. And our whole family has to come up with a word for the year. And we ride with that all year long, because a lot of times at the end of the year, everybody's making these New Year's resolutions and all this stuff, and they keep them for about 20 days and then it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Because they have all these different things that they're trying to do, man. But you get you one word and you focus on that word all year long, all right? And I promise you, it'll make a difference. And when you get that word, what you need to do is you get you a little 5x7 index card, put your word on that card in the middle, all right? And around that word, write down everything that you want to happen around that word. You know, say, for example, mine, is intentional. All right, and I put that in the middle, that I want to be intentional about working out. I want to be intentional about being the best on my job. I want to be intentional about everything that I do, and what those things are. Just write it around there. All right, and I promise you, it'll make a difference, man. So get that one word and run with it all year long. Okay, and at the end of the year, then you can look back and say, hey, I was intentional about this, and I was intentional about that, and I could see myself going to another level because I did those things. So get that one word.
One word. So let's talk about off the court.
Off the court.
Tell the people exactly what off the court is, how it got started, and what it's about.
Off the court. Off the court. That's a unique name, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take all the information that I've gathered over my so many years of life. And I played college basketball, and I think most people in the area know that I played college basketball in Jacksonville. And what I'm doing now, and I've coached for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. So what I'm doing is taking all the information that I've learned from the game of basketball, and I'm taking it off the court, out here in the communities, out here in our different cities or wherever I can, to kind of inspire people, to motivate people, to help people get to another level. Because I know what it did for me, and it took me to another level, because, I'm talking about things like being disciplined, things about responsibility, showing up on time, dressing for success. All those type of things, man, go into Off the Court with Harvin Counsel, because my main thing with Off the Court with Harvin Counsel, and my motto is that I want to make a difference, doing something that makes a difference, at a time that makes a difference, with people who make a difference. So that's my motto, and that's what I want to do. And that's where Off the Court is going.
One more time, Dad.
I want to make a difference.
Yes.
Doing something that makes a difference.
Okay.
At a time that makes a difference.
Yes.
With people who make a difference. That's my motto. We've got to make a difference. Not just me, but everybody. We got to make a difference, man. Because you know what? We got a lot of stuff going on out there. And Gandhi says, if you want to see a change in the world, you need to be that change.
Be the change that you want to see.
You need to change. You need to be the change that you want to see. And a lot of times we sit back and we complain about things that's going on, but you're complaining about it, but what are you doing about it? Mm-hmm. So we got to get to the business of, and I'm still kind of going over into my little message on Saturday, but we got to stand up and you got to start doing something about it. Yep. Okay. Off the court.
Off the court. So we know where we got the name from, and it gives you a little bit of what it's about. So they are motivational sessions. We're not in there all day long. It's just something where you can come out, and like he said, it is for all ages, not just youth, not just older people. It is something that everybody can take something from, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So Off the Court is going to be this Saturday, January the 18th. Dad, will you give them the address one more time?
It's 2001 West DeKalb Street, Camden, South Carolina, 29020.
It is free. So come out, bring as many people with you as you possibly can, because this is all something that we need to hear. This man, my dad, has a lot to say, a lot of information to share, and I think that everybody can definitely benefit from it. But we're not done yet because there's still some more stuff that I want to ask you.
That's
and then
good.
we're going to go back over off the court again because I definitely want to get that information out there because I feel like this is important and people need to be there. So there was an exercise that you did with me a couple months ago that really messed me up. But it was a great exercise. It definitely made me think about what I am doing out here in life. So I am not going to do the full exercise on you, but I just want to ask you, what is your why?
That's a good question.
Do I need to elaborate on what I mean when I say
the
why?
tell them a little bit more about.
When I say what is your why, what I mean is, why do you do this? Why do you get up? Why? So what is the whole meaning behind what it is that you're doing? What motivates you to do it? So it's just deeper than what are you doing and why are you doing it? It's much deeper. So is that a good way to explain it, or you want to?
I think that's a real good way to explain it. And your why is, when I ask people this question a lot of time, what's your why? Well, why'd you get up this morning? I gotta go to work. I gotta get my paycheck. Mm-hmm. That should not be your why. Mm-hmm. That should not be why you got up that morning. Like I just said about what my motto is, or my mantra is that making a difference, doing something that makes a difference at a time to make a difference with people. That's my why. That's basically my why I get up, because I want to make a difference. Every day that I get up, I want to make a difference in somebody's life out there. Because you know what? When I make a difference in somebody else's life, guess what happens in my life? It makes a difference as well. Mm-hmm. All right? So me helping somebody else, and not doing it to help me, but I'm doing it. And if I do it, the law says I'm going to get it back in return.
What law is that, Dad?
That is the law of giving and receiving. Mm-hmm. All right? And the Bible says it's more blessed to do what? To give than to receive anyway. All right? So anytime you giving, you're going to be blessed for it. You're going to receive from it. All right? Whether you're looking for it or not, it's going to come back to you, man. All right? And just my why is that because I've gone through the basketball scene, because I've gone through teaching school and just being around young people and just looking around and seeing what I see that's going on in the world today, my why is to try to help change some of these things, man. And that's why I'm doing all the corporate Harvin Council. That's my biggest why. You know what I'm saying? Because we've got to start making a difference, man. We got to start making a difference. We can't just sit here and exist anymore and sit in the same spots and continue to talk about it, man. We got to be about it, So my why is just making a difference in somebody's life, man, every day when I get up, knowing that, okay, who am I going to make a difference with today? You know what I'm saying? And when I go to bed at night, I ask myself the question, did I make a difference today in somebody's life? Even on my job as a supervisor, I have people that work under me, and I don't want to use the word under me, but that work for me. Well, they work for Coke, but they work.
They're your supervisor.
They're people that I supervise. I just put it that way. That's the best way I can put it. And my thing is, even with them, I'm trying to help them be the best that they can be.
Why is that so important to you, Dad? Because I can already see you getting fired up talking about it, and I see the passion all over you right now. Yeah. But why? Why is that so important to you?
You know what? That's just who I am. Because you know what? Even though I'm trying to push people out there to be the best, most people don't know what I do to try to be the best. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a routine that I do that I try to step my game up to be better every day. And I just like to see people progressing and getting better, because I know that it's so much out here for anybody that want it. Mm-hmm. And there's a certain way you got to go about to get it. And a lot of times we're not there yet. We don't have that. And we've got to do certain things to get to that, man. And that's why I want to see everybody be successful, man. The people that I work with, I want to see them be successful. I want to be successful, So that's why I keep driving and pushing and that type of thing, man. Yeah.
So I know a couple of things that you do every day to make yourself better. Not going too much into it, because we don't want to give away the message, but I know that there's two things that really stand out. Well, a few things that really stand out. One of the major ones being, of course, you pray daily, and I know you exercise, and you read.
And I read. Those are key. Those are key. If you're not praying every day, you're gonna be bombarded with a whole lot of wolves out there that's gonna be coming at you. A lot of times you think they're your friends. Sometimes they may be even your family members, or whatever situation may be. But my whole point is that you got to put on the whole armor of God so you can protect yourselves from the wiles of what's coming out there, man. And every day when I get up, I do that because when I go out, I want to be protected. I want to be ready to face any storm or any type of situation that comes my way. And if I'm not prayed up and I'm not ready for it, it's going to weaken me to the point where I might give in to something that I shouldn't give in to, instead of having that power to say, okay, yeah, this happened, but this is how I'm going to deal with it. And if you're not in that space, then you're going to let it overtake you instead of you overtaking it. All right. So you got to pray, man. You got to pray. And then you talk about the exercise part. All my life, that's all I've ever done. Playing basketball from rec to college, that's all you do. And it's been something that's been ingrained in me. I hadn't played basketball I almost hadn't played, but I hadn't been a part of a team, for almost 30 years now. All right, but I have played some in between there or whatever, but still balling, trying to a little bit. But I just feel so good when I work out. When I don't work out, I'm sluggish. I just feel.
So you're not just doing it for physical reasons. You're also doing it for mental reasons as well.
I think,
correct?
and exercise. Probably the most important thing about exercise is not from the physical standpoint; it's from the mental standpoint, man. Because now you are mentally able to deal with a lot more, doing it a lot easier.
Keeps you sharp.
It keeps you sharp, man, and that's why you got to do it. If you don't, you need to start some kind of plan. Don't try to jump in there and do 100 push-ups when you hadn't been able to do 5. Start with what you can do, and then work your way up, and then go up, man. And you got to do it. You got to. If you're not doing it, it's going to hurt you in the long run. It has its longevity. As far as living and that type of stuff. And plus, it makes you feel good. And then when you feel good, you look good. And when you look good, you play good. And when you play good, that's what they do. They pay good. All right? So, I'm going to leave that one on that one. But then I'm going to go to the reading part.
You dropping dimes on us there?
I'm trying to drop a little bit here and there. But reading changed the game for me. Okay? I set out to read. Before I say that, I'm going to drop this little dime on you about reading, is that the average American only reads one book a year. The average millionaire reads one book a month. So where do you fit in those two scenarios? Are you reading one book a year, or are you reading one book a month? All right? If your life ain't where you want it to be, you're probably reading one book a year or no books at all. All right? And if your life is progressing and going in the way you want it to go, then you're probably reading, a book here and there, more than one a year.
More than the average.
More than the average. Okay? There's another stat that says 58% of Americans never pick up a book upon graduating from high school. That's over half. 58%. That's over half. Never pick up another book after they leave high school. Okay, if you don't pick up another book after you leave high school, how are you going to grow? How are you going to learn? And we should have the mindset that we are lifelong learners. We should be learning all the time. And my thing is that when I came across that first stat that says millionaires read one book a month, I decided I'm going to read 2 books a month. All right? And not that I'm trying to be a millionaire per se. Wouldn't mind it. Don't get me wrong. But I want to have that millionaire mindset. Okay? I want to have that millionaire knowledge and those type of things. But what I started doing is I started off reading one book a year. And then I went to reading 2 books a month. Okay? Now, this past year of 2019, I read 39 books. And for me, knowing who I am and where I came from about reading, I hated to read. In college, I didn't want to read. I would pay somebody to read for me. You know what? That type of thing. But but my wife was an avid reader, so I was watching her, and I was like, okay, there's something about this thing about reading. But when I came across all that information about reading, I decided, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot and see what happens. And I'm gonna tell you, my life has gone from here to here because of reading. It changed the game. It changed the game. It gives you that knowledge, and as a motivational speaker and trying to get out here and speak and doing those type of things, I got to have something to talk about. Mm-hmm. And the way I have something to talk about is I read and I learn, so I can have those things to say. And so now my goal for this year is I got to read 40 books because every year I'm going to up it, so it's going to be up by one. But knowing me, as competitive as I am,
yes,
I'm going to read more than 40 books this year.
Yes.
Because already this year, and we're not quite in the middle of January yet, I've read 3 books already. All right, and halfway finished with the 4th one. So I'm going to try to have 5 books completed by the end of January. And then some days, I don't read as much every month. Like this month is a really good month. Next month, I might only read 2. All right, but reading 3 or 4 a month sometimes when you're feeling good, that'll get you ahead of the game. Mm-hmm. So now you don't have to put a whole lot of pressure on yourself and say, well, I got to do this and do that. But reading changes the game, man. If you're not reading, you need to be reading. And read something that you like. Just don't pick up something, well, I got to read, or Harvin said you need to read, all right? But pick up something that you enjoy reading. If you like sports, pick up stuff and start on sports. And then graduate to things that you like and keep going from there.
So reading changed the game so much for you that you went from wanting to pay somebody to read for you to writing your own books.
Wow, isn't that something?
That is.
That's something. I can tell you, writing those books, that's something that I never thought that I would ever do. And I think God has blessed me to have 3 of them, mm-hmm. At this point, and all are doing well. I've got a lot of good feedback, but I can remember there was a lady. She came and she heard me speak one time at a church, and she said, "Son, you ought to write a book." And mm-hmm. I was like, "No, ma'am. That's not what I do.
Stay in my lane over here.
I'm gonna stay in my lane because I always like to read. You talking about writing a book, And so a couple of months later, another lady came up to me and said the same exact thing, man. So now they kind of got my attention now mm-hmm. because I'm saying, okay, these 2 people that came up to me and said something about doing it. Mm-hmm. And then so my thing was, okay, Harvin, why won't you write a book? You go out here, you're speaking and you're doing these things. So obviously you got something to say.
Right.
So why don't you just put some of this stuff in a book? And it took me a minute to get going, to get started, but I ended up doing it, and it's one of the best things I've ever done. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be because I already had something to say. So I ended up doing it, and long story short, we got the book out. The first one was Unlocking the Door to Success, and that's probably my favorite one because mm-hmm. maybe it was the first one, but I got a lot of good feedback from it. But being able to do that, that all came from reading. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Had I never started reading the way I was reading, I probably would have never written those books, and that type of thing.
So just real quick, just run down your 3 books that you do have. First one
is Unlocking the Door to Success.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is a revised edition of The Journey to Success. Mm-hmm. And we just revised that book, and actually we'll be selling it at the speaking on Saturday. And then we have Quotes for Success, which was the last one I wrote, and it is a good book, and I like that one as well. It has a lot of quotes in it, and when you look at the quote or read the quote, it explains what that quote means. And it's a type of a book where it's a resource where you can use it. At any time you might be going through something today or whatever, and you open a book and bam, you see a quote that fits what you're going through and might help you get through the day. And then, a month later you might go back again and bam, another one. So it's a really good book. So I think all of them are good. So you need to get them.
Get a copy. Last question for you, Dad. Before we wrap up, what do you want your legacy to be? You like that one?
I like that one. That's all good questions. What would I want my legacy to be? And it goes back to my motto again. I just want my legacy to be where when I leave here, I want my children and my grandchildren and everybody that knows me or anybody that I have made a difference in their life or touched their life to know that I was somebody that helped somebody else, to help them get to another level. I want to be remembered as somebody who cared about people and always wanted to see people be their best. That's what I want.
That's a good way to be remembered. That's a good way. So we're going to end it on that note. But once again, I do want to let you guys know that Harvin Council motivational speaker and author is having an event on Saturday, January the 18th at 12 o'clock. I will put all the flyer information on there. It is completely free. Books will be sold. The books that he was speaking of earlier, copies will be available. And we can do that via Cash App. You can bring cash, whatever you need to do. But I need to see you guys out there. We need to see you guys out there on January the 18th, Saturday at 12 o'clock. Real quick, why should people come out? Just one little, why should they come out?
Because we're dealing in a time right now where people are asking the question, what's going on? And the title of my message is titled, What's Going On? So with all the stuff that's going on around us right now, if you want to get some answers to that, come out on Saturday so you can get the answer to what's going on.
Saturday, January the 18th. We'll see you guys there. Dad, thank you so much. I
thank
enjoyed
you for having
it.
me.
We're gonna do it again, and we're gonna go deep into it.
Okay, I'll be more prepared next time.
No, you did great. This was excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.